Alrighty, Nightmares and Visions just dropped for Darktide, and I did read over the notes to see what's going on with Ogryn. Now it makes more sense why I didn't really like Ogryn's original talent tree. So the original talent tree was actually always focused on melee-oriented attacks, more specifically the heavy attacks. Every time I looked at some sort of passive in any of the talent trees, regardless of where I was at, it was always focused on getting a heavy attack in. I don't normally do heavy attacks very often, especially when it comes to fighting bosses on harder difficulties, because you're going to get staggered quite often. So one thing they did, and it's towards the end down here, is now when you gain when you do a heavy attack, you're no longer interrupted by it. Let's see, it was down here somewhere. This actually here gives you damage reduction when you're charging a melee attack. It was around here somewhere, but now when you charge up a melee attack, and assuming you have that passive unlocked, you're now no longer interrupted. This talent over here, let's see, I did get it. So your perfect blocks, they now block every melee attack. And then after that, you'll gain 20% melee damage on the next attack. So that's actually really cool. The rework basically allows Ogryns to be a lot more tanky. So now a lot of the modifiers now have damage reduction on for your toughness, as well as increased toughness. And then further down here, like this talent here, this one right here, Too Stubborn to Die, it's 100% toughness replenishment while below 33% health. That's almost like a martyrdom type thing for tanks, basically. Like this, I consider this more like a defensive martyrdom type thing for this, as opposed to the zealots version of martyrdom, which is they gain melee attack based on how much health they have left. This one here is you just keep your toughness replenished so long as you're at low health, so more defense for you. I am going to be experimenting with it. This is what I have. I only had 29 points since my Ogryn is at level 29. I'm gonna go here on the left side. This is more focused on the melee aspect of it, because I do like the Ogryn's choice of melee weapons. I especially really like the pickaxe here. It's got some good range. I do like its alternate attack, at least on this version of the pickaxe. There's 3 versions. The one I use is the Barovian Mark III, simply because its alternate attack scoops in an enemy, so it pulls them towards you. Not only does that stun them briefly, but it also allows you for a follow-up attack. And if you look at the stats, these are actually all the default stats, and I actually do like those stats. I look at Slaughter and Limb Splitter, and they have also made, obviously, the heavy attacks more viable. So we're going to go ahead and try the Mortis Trials, which is also part of this update, and play around with it. Hopefully we can have some fun. Now I'm going to assume to access the Mortis Trials, we actually got to go and talk to Stephanie. Survive 12. Okay, so this is actually my first time looking at this, because I was just looking over the Ogryn's talents. So I wonder, Uprising is survive 12 waves, Malice, Heresy. Okay, so it's 12 waves regardless of difficulty. We're just gonna go on Heresy. Yeah. More Ogryns.
You have chosen to take part in a Mortis trial. Curious. Pain and hardship await you, but Stephanie cannot say what form they will take. My master is curious about you. Most people find his curiosity painful.
Select your path. Fulminator, Pyrokinetic, Death Deal. So we got 2 other Ogryns. I think they're gonna both be Death Dealers, so I'm gonna give Pyrokinetic a try. Oh, I had the wrong weapon, wrong ranged weapon equipped.
Grendel said that Stephanie should train you. So Stephanie shall, unless one of us dies trying. Prepare yourselves. Even now, the enemy comes.
So I think it's just gonna be survive 12 waves kind of thing. Although there are supposed to be some modifiers to happen. That might happen after every 4 waves, I'm assuming, if it's gonna be 12 waves. They also made Ogryn's dodging more viable too, so now If you can dodge, it also stagger enemies as well. The overall idea was to make Ogryns more tanky, because I never thought of Ogryns as more as a tank. I always consider the Zealot to be more tankier than the Ogryn, but looks like the rework to the talent trees is actually making him out to be more of a tank. Once we get into a larger group of enemies, probably in a later wave, I'll see what the ability does. Another thing to do with the Ogryn rework is it also allow you to also have a build that can be balanced between your ranged weapon and your melee, or you can be more focused on melee. You can also be focused on melee and defense. So now they've really giving you some choices now on how to build out the Ogryn. For me, at the moment, I'm just kind of going to be experimenting, but so far I'm more focused on just the melee aspect of things. Or a trapper somewhere. Oh, I didn't dodge that. Let's see. Oh, okay, so that blitz just kind of like a little AoE for burn. I wonder if you can find items throughout the map, like stems and such.
Place your data interrogators. Do not delay.
Guess we're gonna learn more backstory on Sergeant Morrow. Also, just learned not too long ago that Sergeant Morrow actually participated in the battle for Armageddon. So that's pretty neat. Oh, that's for me, wasn't it? Oh. Okay, so that's a passive that leaves a little AoE effect for burn. Little DOT. Oh, okay, so she does give us stuff. No longer staggered, huh? Replenish 1 grenade every 20 seconds. I'm gonna go for that, just because I'm using I'm using the Ogre Bomb. Okay, so I was right. I figured you would get something every 4 waves. Keep it interesting. I'm gonna just go ahead and see if this actually works. Actually replenishes an Ogryn grenade. Okay, so my blitz didn't change. It actually is the taunt. That's what I have for his main blitz, is taunting enemies. They'll also take extra damage from all sources. I got my Ogryn grenade back, so that's pretty cool. It's too bad Ogryn doesn't get something like that, like the like, what is it? The guard, the veteran. They have a veteran as a talent where you can replenish your grenades every 60 seconds.
Good enough for your company?
I may as well just try and use my grenades whenever I can, just because why not? It replenishes every 20 seconds. There you go, Ogryn. Oh, I did not see that sniper around.
Click squad didn't make it back. Never got near the target.
That's how it goes.
The Mark's lost it. Keeps muttering about blood. Why is he in command?
Because everyone else questioned his orders. Want to end the same way?
We're all gonna end the same way. You'll see.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Looks like we got some story elements.
Stephanie commands it.
Well, at least they're changing it up a bit, and it isn't just a typical horde mode or survival mode. That was another thing with the Ogryn talent rework is one of the first talents you can unlock or modifiers is being able to deal more damage to enemy Ogryns, as well as taking lesser damage from enemy Ogryns. Yeah, I don't know why this guy's way out there. He's out of coherency. Not to mention, with the Ogryn rework, I mean, well, depending on how you have it built, but you can do more damage, or not have more damage, but you'll get a lot more toughness reduction and coherency, so it really makes you as tanky as possible. Yeah, that talent in allowing you to hit harder against Ogryns, 30% more damage to enemy Ogryns is amazing. Now it's 2 heavy attacks as opposed to 3 or 4, depending on where you hit them and if they're crit.
Indulge Stephanie, and she will indulge you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. So now my Blitz also does burning on AoE. So definitely have to start using it more often.
You must be challenged. Stephanie will call for deeper emotions. Oh, darker thoughts.
That's Sniper. Where's that other sniper at? I think this gun, whatever they call it, the Ripper, I believe it's called the Ripper. It is my least favorite Ogryn weapon. I really like the Twin League having Stubber more. Has several variations to kind of vary your playstyle, whereas this Ripper gun only has the one. Not to mention this is on Heresy, and I feel like it's a little bit too easy. It's not. It doesn't feel like Heresy. It feels probably like Malice, maybe. We'll have to wait and see once we get to the final few levels. Gotta get those trappers down first. Yeah, I'm really hoping the difficulty increases once we get towards the final few, or the final 4 waves anyway. Because it definitely feels more like a Malice difficulty mission, because right now these hordes are, they don't have any specialists in them, so there's no ragers or anything like that. No flak enemies. Only a few carapace enemies here and there, the Reapers and the Bulwarks and the Crushers. Otherwise, yeah, this is more like a oh, look at that, the first mutant. Yeah, this is definitely more Malice difficulty than Heresy. So it makes me wonder if Damnation is actually going to feel like a Damnation difficulty. Because usually on Heresy, you're not dealing with a whole lot with a standard horde at all. You're usually dealing with flak and carapace armored enemies more often. Usually specialist enemies.
Are the men ready to move? No, sir. I beg your pardon. They've nothing more to give. Send them out again and they'll be dead in minutes. To die in the God Emperor's service is the highest duty. The blood must flow. Yeah. About that.
Yeah, Moro made the right decision. Seems like the commissar fell to chaos. Otherwise, the blood must flow. That sounds more like a corn phrase than Papa Nurgle. All right, notice a huge difference in the toughness reduction from the ranged attacks. I do have a talent or a modifier that allows me to have decreased damage from ranged attacks for 2.5 seconds, so I actually noticed that difference. Ooh, look at that. Scoop. Well, I'm already noticing quite a slight difference in the Ogryns rework. That damage reduction I had from that ranged attack earlier was pretty good. Noticeable, actually. And I don't play Ogryn a whole lot, so I can't really know for sure if the talents are that noticeable. Scoop, uppercut, down slam. Good combo for the pickaxe. I also really like that they gave Stephanie a lot of sass. Throw 2 grenades at 90%. Oh, looks like they give you passes and such from every Overcooked. Yeah, let's go for this one just because the Ogryn's grenade is already a one-shot. I need to see how much larger his damage radius is. Huh. Alright, finally some specialist enemies, a few maulers. Not as many as you would normally see in a typical horde on Heresy. Those look like new enemies. Yeah, those are that's definitely a new enemy type. Let's just toss another grenade just because why not? Can use it. Ooh, perfect dodge. Couldn't dodge that though. Huh. That blitz just killed all of them right there. Alright, let's see what these last 4 waves are like. There definitely is a ton of replayability on top of the high replayability it's already giving us. Being able to experiment with all the different ways you can play. Wow, they weren't kidding about that increased AoE. Throw down this med pack. Where are they at? Oh, wait, I didn't know you could throw the grenade underhanded. What? Ah. And that's not really seeing a whole lot of specialist enemies as often as we should be. Stun that guy. Ooh, we gotta fight a demon host, huh? Ooh, look at this. Ooh. Looks like this mode's going to force a lot of players, well, not a lot of players, but pretty much the entire player base to learn how to fight a demon host rather than avoid them. Yeah, there's got to be an enemy around here somewhere. Oh, okay, they're over there. I do like that they'll highlight them towards the end of the wave. That way you're not struggling to figure out where the rest of them are.
The Mortis relic shall be yours. You have earned it.
Oh, okay, so that was a little bit too easy for Heresy.
We're ready now. Tell the others.
Mark changed his mind. How'd you do it?
It's better you don't know.
Throne. He's dead, isn't he? Did you?
Tell the old carking world, why don't you? Commissar Namark died a hero. We're going back to the regiment and back to the real boy. Got it?
Well done. It is time to return to the waking world.
Grenade out!
All right, so a good half hour. Okay, so judging by what the other two Ogryns said, they obviously been playing Ogryn longer than I have. They don't know how they feel about the rework, but they said they don't hate it either. The only thing that I actually noticed was the damage reduction I took from some of that range fire. I think that modifier is further down here, I believe. Somewhere down here. I remember picking it because of that. The perfect block, I didn't really notice it too often. I gotta learn on how to get perfect blocks down. Let's see here. Which one was it? There you go, right there. So can't hit me again. Plus 20% damage resistance versus ranged for 2.5 seconds after getting hit by a ranged cooldown, with a 4-second cooldown, where we had to defend that point. When I got hit by the scat gunner, that's when I actually noticed it's actually working. So that's the only thing I kind of really noticed. Otherwise, for me, it kind of feels more like the same, just because again, I haven't been playing Ogryn a whole lot. But if you actually notice the change, then more power to you, especially considering that Ogryns really were kind of in a bad spot. But it does look like you can now make yourself to be a lot more tanky if you want. You can also balance out your talents between melee and ranged, or you can also be all focused on ranged. So now they're giving you a lot more options for that hybrid type of playtime, that more hybrid type of playing, if that's something more you like. For me, like I said, I'm gonna have to experiment a bit with the build, with the talents, but I am gonna go back and a couple more of the Mortis Trials on Psyker and Zealot. The veteran is only level 15, so yeah, I don't really like the veteran too much. Just the veteran's kind of more like your typical type of gameplay. We'll keep indulging a bit more. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. I gotta see you on that next video. We'll do more Mortis Trials, and I think we'll just do a video covering each of the classes and see how they play out, see how the builds work and such in there. So until then, see you guys next time. Bye.